And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Virginia Cavaliers. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 6, Griff O'Farrell. Batting second, playing center field, number 2, Ethan O'Donnell. Batting third and playing third base, number 22, Jake Geloff. Batting fourth and catching, number 3, Kyle Teal. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 8, Casey Southey. Batting sixth and playing first base, number 23, Ethan Anderson. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 7, Henry Godbout. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 34, Harrison Dilwick. Batting ninth and playing second base, number 12, Justin Rubin. On the mound today for your Cavaliers, number 14, Jack O'Connor. In his 20th season, the Cavaliers head coach is Brian O'Connor. He's assisted by Kevin McMullen, Drew Dickinson, and Matt Kirby. We, the ACC, are committed to seeing each other as equals, recognizing that our differences don't divide us, but they make us stronger. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please join the Atlantic Coast Conference, our student athletes and coaches, in honoring America for the playing of our national anthem.
For the 8th time in Brian O'Connor's tenure, Virginia is off to a 6-0 start to the season. And today from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park, the Wahoos looking for a 3-game sweep of the visiting Columbia Lions. Hi again, folks. Welcome back on grounds once again. Channing Poole here with you in Charlottesville, Virginia, as it is the Hoos and the Lions for Game 3. On Friday, a doubleheader sweep for Virginia, taking Game 1 by a 4-1 final before claiming Game 2 on the backside of the doubleheader by an 11-3 final score. A team that has been known for its prolific offensive numbers so far this season did put up 11 runs on 11 hits in Game 2, but truthfully, it has been the starting pitching that has been the storyline so far over the course of the weekend. And now for this Sunday finale under sunny skies in Charlottesville, we will see if Jack O'Connor can continue that trend as he is making his warm-up tosses as we speak on the mound here from Disharoon Park. Let's look at the batting order he will face off against today, as put together by head coach Brett Beretti of Columbia. Columbia obviously off to an 0-2 start, as their first 2 games on Friday were the first of the 2023 season. Leading off for the Lions is the left fielder Cole Hage. Andy Blake, the shortstop, bats second. It'll be Seth Dardar in the 3 spot. He is the first baseman, with Weston Eberle doing the catching, batting cleanup. Hitting 5th and in right field, off to a 4-for-8 start in the series, is Hayden Schott. Anton Lazitz in the 6th spot plays third base, with Cole Fellows making his first career start. Fellows, who pinch hit and got a base hit on Friday, will be the designated hitter today, batting 7th. Hitting 8th and playing center field is Sky Selinsky, with Jack Cale rounding out the order. Cale will bat 9th and play second base. Once again for Columbia, the top third goes Hage, Blake, Dardar. Middle third is Eberle, Schott, Lazitz, and the bottom third of Fellows, Selinsky, and Cale. And that lineup for Columbia, all against Virginia's first-year righty, Jack O'Connor, the right-hander out of Arlington and Bishop O'Connell High School, 6'5", 235-pound first year, who in his Cavalier debut picked up a victory, tossing 5 scoreless and 1-hit innings in the win over UNCW in Wilmington last Sunday. Looks to replicate that against Columbia today. Righty against righty as Hage digs in, and a fastball at 93, cut on and missed. We are underway at 1:01 this afternoon. 57 degrees and sunny skies. A gorgeous day for baseball and this Sunday finale between ACC and Ivy League. Hage, right-handed hitter, swings and misses at another fastball at 94 that time for the right-hander O'Connor. Hage so far 1 for 9, but that one was a home run. He has also struck out on 3 occasions. See if O'Connor can get him for the 4th time in the series. As the righty into the windup, the pitch is over the outside corner. Strike 3 call. 3 consecutive fastballs from O'Connor, wasting no time in getting the game off in fine fashion. Hage is set down on strikes, his 4th strikeout of the series. And that will bring Andy Blake, the senior shortstop, to the plate now for Columbia. A light breeze blowing, not anywhere near the wind that we saw in the midweek game on Tuesday, nor in the Friday doubleheader. Pitch from O'Connor misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Blake. Blake 2 for 7 in the series with an RBI and a couple of runs scored. Tall right-handed batter. It was played a solid shortstop for Columbia all weekend. The 1-0, check swing. Did he go? No swing, says Connor Hoagland down the first base line. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. First time we've seen O'Connor go to the slider there. The 2-0 pitch now from Jack O'Connor is at the knees, a called strike, and it's 2-1. 92 at the knees. Reports in Wilmington last weekend, at least according to the trackman that was in front of the broadcast booth there in Wilmington. O'Connor was sitting 92, 93, and touched 94 a couple of times. Here's a line drive screaming off the bat of Blake, but also right at the shortstop, O'Farrell. He hangs with it, and there are 2 up, 2 down. Although it goes for an out, talk about a hard-hit ball. That one 105 miles an hour off the bat of Andy Blake, but right into the glove of O'Farrell. 2 up, 2 down to start the ball game. Now Seth Dardar for the Lions. Left-handed bat, chops it right side, should get O'Connor out of an easy inning. Fielded by Rubin, flips on to first. 1, 2, 3 go the Lions here in the top half of the first, and a strikeout in the mix for young Jack O'Connor. After 1/2 inning of play, no score in Charlottesville. The Cavalier offense set to go to work when we come back.
Setting the defense for Columbia, first base, Seth Royer, playing second base, Jack Cato, over at shortstop, Andy Blake, and playing third base, Anton Lasses. Out of left field, Cole Haig. Playing center field, Stefan Zielinski, and around the yard, Hayden Shaw. Catching today for the Lions, Wesley Fairley, and on the mound for Columbia, number 24, Joe Sheets.
A Virginia offense so far hitting at .395 collectively to start the year. Here is a look at the lineup they will run out for this Sunday finale against Columbia right-hander Joe Sheets. Leading off the shortstop, Griff O'Farrell with Ethan O'Donnell in the 2 spot. O'Donnell plays center field. Jake Geloff once again in the 3 spot at third base. Kyle Teal will flip-flop with Casey Sauke today. Teal is in the cleanup spot and doing the catching, with Casey Sauke hitting 5th and playing right field. Ethan Anderson, the first baseman, bats 6th, hitting 7th, and once again in the lineup today is the designated hitter, Henry Godbout, 3 for 7 with a homer and a double in the series. He's earned it. Harrison Didowick bats 8th and plays left field, with Justin Rubin at second base, batting 9th to round out the order for Virginia. Again, the top third goes O'Farrell, O'Donnell, Geloff, middle third Teal, Sauke, Anderson, and the bottom third of Godbout, Didowick, and Rubin, all against sophomore right-hander Joe Sheets for Columbia. Over the head with the glove to start the windup, and a fastball over the outside corner for strike one. Sheets last season for Columbia as a freshman, 13 appearances, 11 as a starter. The 0-1. O'Farrell pulls the hands in and fouls it away into his own dugout. 0-2 the count. Sheets a sinker baller, 6'2", 210-pound righty. Went 2-2 with a 6.04 earned run average last year. 53 2/3 innings of work. Check swinging a ball down and out of the zone. Yes, he did on that breaking ball, says first base umpire Connor Hoagland. And O'Farrell in disbelief, left standing, holding his bat, and now heads back to the dugout. That is out number 1 here in the home half of the first of a scoreless game. For Sheets last year, only 41 strikeouts over 53 2/3 innings of work. He is a ground ball pitcher, not a strikeout pitcher, but he's got one there. He walked 24 batters last year. Opponents hit .332 against him. As Ethan O'Donnell now takes a fastball down beneath the knees. 1 ball, no strikes. 76 hits allowed over 53 2/3 innings last season. And Sheets again winds, deals, and O'Donnell fouls it away left side and out of play. And the count 1-1. Sinker baller that'll typically sit in the 88 to 90 mile an hour range. He'll touch 91. In 6 feet 2 inches tall. Righty sporting the Columbia blue glove to match his uniform. And a breaking ball that bounced into O'Donnell. 2 balls, 1 strike. Virginia, the orange uniform tops on this Sunday afternoon. Virginia in blue cursive across the chest. Blue numbers on the lower left side and the back side of the jersey as well. 2-1 pitch to O'Donnell. Grounded right side, playable for the second baseman Kale. He backhands somewhat awkwardly, but handles it, throws on to first, and there are 2 down. And now Jake Geloff for Virginia. Wahoo's the white pants, the all-blue caps today with the V-Sabre logo on the front of that cap. Again, the orange jerseys for Virginia, the Columbia blue jerseys for the visiting Lions. Columbia in white block letters across the chest. Breaking ball strike to start Geloff, 0-1. White pants with the blue pinstripes for the Lions today. They wear the Columbia blue cap with the white front quadrant and that Lion logo on the front of the cap. Geloff swings, smacks one down the left field line. That will go for extra bases. Picked up off the wall by Cole Hage, the left fielder. Relay throw to second base, not in time, as Jake Geloff has himself a 2-out double. First base hit for either side in this game, and it is Jake's 4th double of the season already. Jake has 7 extra base hits on the year, 14 RBIs already. He got a hanger there and did not miss it. So runner at second base with 2 outs. And again, the one change in terms of batting order Virginia made, putting Kyle Teal up in the 4 spot today. See if he can capitalize. Runner at second base, 2 outs. And he takes a called strike over the outside corner. That sinker baller fading away from Teal. No balls, 1 strike. Teal 11 hits in 21 at-bats to start the season, hitting at .524. A couple of homers, including one on Friday, and 6 runs batted in. Righty on the mound against the lefty at the plate. The 0-1 pitch. Chopped right side and should get Sheets out of the inning. Big hop for the second baseman, Kale, who throws on to first. And the inning is over. So a 2-out double for Jake Geloff, but nothing further for Virginia. And at the end of 1 complete inning of play from Disharoon Park, no score between Virginia and Columbia.
Fans, make sure to visit UVAtickets.com to get your Virginia baseball season tickets. That's UVAtickets.com to get your baseball season tickets.
Cavaliers and Lions scoreless after 1 complete inning of play from Disharoon Park. And for the Lions, it'll be Weston Everly, Hayden Schott, and Anton Lazitz against Virginia's Jack O'Connor. The Bishop O'Connell High School product back to the mound for his 2nd inning of work after an 8-pitch 1-2-3 first that included a strikeout. And he will now face Eberle to start the 2nd. Virginia got a double from Jake Geloff, but nothing further in the first. And a first pitch slider swung on and missed by Eberle, 0-1. Eberle, who caught game 1 on Friday and then watched game 2, 1 for 4 in game 1, an RBI and a strikeout, as a fastball from O'Connor misses down. And the count evening up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Righty against righty. O'Connor's pitch hit on the ground on 1 hop. Takes a big bounce up into the glove of O'Farrell, who fields it above the neck that time, but is able to hang with it and throw on to first to retire Eberle. That ball shot off the dirt. It might have caught where the dirt meets the grass. Thought it landed just beyond it. Either way, a lot of spring in it into the glove of Virginia's shortstop. 1 out, base is empty for Hayden Schott. So he's been the most dangerous bat in this Columbia lineup so far this weekend. He swings and skies one, well tagged to center. That chases back O'Donnell, back to the warning track at the wall, and he's got room to make the catch. Well, with his left hand, he makes the grab. With his right hand, he's holding on to the fence. As Hayden shot, testing the limits of Davenport Field. Well, that time able to hold it in the park for a long and loud out number 2. 106 off the bat that time from Schott. And I'll tell you what, for just about every other home game we've had in this ballpark this season, fastball missing upstairs, 1-0. I think because of the way the wind has been blowing, that ball probably getting out of here. But not the case today. The 1-0 pitch. A little bit high, 2 balls, no strikes. Hitters count for Lazitz. 2 outs, base is empty in a scoreless game. Top of inning number 2. Lazitz 1 for 7 in the series. Right-hand hitting third baseman. And O'Connor misses downstairs. 3 balls, no strikes. Against UNC Wilmington, Jack O'Connor was excellent. Maybe the only bugaboo, he walked 3 over 5 innings. I mean, it's not terrible, but the one thing you might say he could improve upon. 3-0 pitch. That's right there for a called strike, 3-1. 5 innings, 1 hit. He struck out 7. Talk about an impressive collegiate debut. 79 pitches for O'Connor to get through those 5 innings, and he took the win in his first start as a Wahoo. 3-1, swing and a miss. Lazitz helped him out on a slider that ended up down and away. But that will run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, base is empty. And O'Connor's pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back to the slider again. This time over the plate, but dropped beneath the knees. And Lazitz swings over top of it. And Jack O'Connor has 2 strikeouts in the ballgame. 6 up, 6 down to start the game. And at the end of 1 1/2 innings of play, no score between Virginia and Columbia. Still very early in this one, but so far starting pitching ruling the day as we go bottom 2 from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park. Joe Sheets back to the hill for Columbia, and he will face Casey Sauke, Ethan Anderson, and Henry Godbout. 5, 6, 7 for the Who's against the right-hander and sinker baller from Wilmington, Delaware, Joe Sheets. Pitch missing down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Breaking ball to start Casey Sauke. Sauke looking for his first hit of the series. Does have an RBI and a run scored. Breaking ball this time downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Sauke has walked 3 times, or I should say did walk 3 times over the course of Friday's doubleheader. 2-0 pitch. A little bit low. 3 balls, no strikes. Again, not a terrible ratio, but probably a number that was higher than Sheets would have liked last year. 53 innings, 24 walks. So he did show that he would hurt himself from time to time with the base on balls. A 3-0 fastball over the inside edge for a strike, 3-1. Sauke, 7 hits in 21 at-bats to start the year, with a homer and 6 runs batted in. The 3-1 pitch. lined but foul. Collecting in the space between the camera well and the tarp and out into left field. There, Avery Mabe trots out of the Virginia dugout to go retrieve it. And the right-hander from the belt now over the head with the glove and the pitch. Chopped up the middle, might sneak through, and it's going to for a leadoff base hit. Casey Sauke with his first hit of the series. And it is a single to get things started for Virginia here in the second. Now Ethan Anderson, switch hitter to bat left against Sheets. Well, Sheets wants to live at the bottom of the strike zone and wants to induce ground balls. He did both there, but that one found a hole. Now from the stretch, Sheets deals, and he missed outside with a fastball, 1-0. Anderson 3 for 9 so far in the series with a pair of RBIs and a run scored. Now second year, he's taken over as the everyday first baseman for Virginia. 1-0 breaking ball in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The last time Joe Sheets started for Columbia, it was in the 2022 Blacksburg Regional in the regional final. Virginia Tech defeated Columbia 7-2 in that game as the Hokies advanced on to the Super Regional where they lost. But in the regional final, it was Sheets making the start for Columbia against VPI. 1-1 pitch. Grounded towards second, might be 2. Kale flips to second, there's 1. All kinds of time for Andy Blake to relay back over to first base. And it goes 4-6-3, and just like that, the leadoff single is erased. You know, and again, even as Sauke singled to start the inning, it's the brand of contact that Sheets is looking for. What he's not looking for is contact like what Geloff had in the first on a ball that he left up in the zone and that Jake one-hopped off of the wall in left field. Obviously, I don't know of too many pitchers that are looking for that brand of contact, but you get the idea. Ground ball pitcher if he is on. Breaking ball misses down. 1 ball, no strikes to Henry Godbout. Godbout, who had quite the performance in Game 2 Friday, and here he's going to get hit right in the middle of the back by a fastball from Sheets. Looked like he took it right off the number 7 on the back of his jersey. So a 2-out base runner now, and that'll get Harrison Didewick an opportunity. Didewick's classmate Godbout, that 3-run homer in the second inning on Friday to put Virginia in front for good. Didewick takes a breaking ball strike, and it's 0-1. Didewick 1 for 7 in the series, does have a pair of runs scored. First year out of Western Branch High School, bats from the left side of the plate. Runner at first, 2 outs. And the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away left side and out of play. 0-2 the count. Didewick, who has been in the lineup as the everyday left fielder for Virginia. 6'4" left-handed batter, that crouching stance from the left side of the plate. He's behind in the count right now, 0-2. See if he can battle up against Joe Sheets. Runner at first, 2 outs, and the pitch. And he hit him. Breaking ball came all the way in and got him on the front leg. So consecutive hit batters by the Columbia starter have given Virginia a little bit of a 2-out rally here. And an opportunity now for Justin Rubin to get Virginia on the board. So for the second consecutive inning, Virginia gets a man to scoring position with 2 outs. See if this time Rubin can make it count started game one of the doubleheader and is back in the lineup today for the finale. Watches a slider high, 1 ball, no strikes. Ruben went 1 for 2 in that game on Friday that he started. Sac fly that resulted in an RBI, his second of the year. The 1-0 pitch, righty against righty. Sheets spins, throws back to second, and safely back in goes Godbout. Godbout, the lead runner. Didowick behind him at first. They were both hit by a pitch. 2 outs in a scoreless game, bottom of the second. In Virginia, for the second straight inning, some semblance of a rally. See if Ruben can put the Who's on the board first. Now the right-hander's 1-0 pitch. A little bit high. 2 balls, no strikes. If nothing else, Virginia making Sheets sweat a little bit in this second. A quick 11-pitch first inning from Joe Sheets. Hitters count for Ruben now. 2 balls, no strikes, and the pitch is, I guess, a little down. Throw to second base, not in time. Second time this weekend we've seen Weston Everly throwing behind a runner at second and almost picking him off. Godbout gets back in around the tag, and just to confirm, that pitch was called a ball, so 3-0 the count to Justin Ruben. See if he's taken all the way here. 2 hit batters and now a 3-ball, no strike count. Wonder if Virginia's 9-spot hitter is going to force the righty to come into the strike zone. He is taking, and he watches a fastball. Took a little off at 87 just to find the outside corner, and it's 3-1. So back to a hitter's count now for Justin Ruben. Ruben at .417 to start the year, 5 hits and 12 at-bats. And as I mentioned, a couple of RBIs already. Chance for another one here. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. The 3-1 pitch, chopped foul behind Coach Mack. Deflects off of the camera well. And the third base umpire, Dave Susi, racing after it. He tried to make a play on it and failed, and I think that's why the umpire felt as though it was his responsibility to go and ultimately track it down. Nevertheless, that does run the count full, so Godbout from second, Didowick from first will both get a head start with the pitch. See if Ruben again can capitalize here. There go the runners. Pitch is grounded over towards third base. Gobbled up by Lazitz across the way to first, and the inning is over. As Virginia once again will get a couple of base runners, but nothing across as they leave a man in scoring position. At the end of now 2 complete innings of play, we still have no score between Virginia and Columbia. UVA playing host to the Ivy League favorites this weekend in Charlottesville, and have taken games 1 and 2 from the Lions now looking to sweep Columbia this afternoon. So far, nothing across for either side, as Jack O'Connor back to the mound for Virginia to face the bottom third of the lineup. Cole Fellows gets a start, grounds the first pitch he sees on 2 hops. An easy one into the glove of Rubin, who throws a little bit wide to first, but Anderson able to reach out and snag it. And that is out number 1 as Fellows making his first career start. Bounces out 4-3 to start the inning. Now Sky Selinsky for the Lions with Jack Cale set to follow. Virginia and Columbia scoreless, top of the third. Fastball pops the mitt at 92 for strike 1. Virginia 4-1 winners in game 1. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at a slider. It's 0-2. And 11-3 winners in game 2. The first couple of games of Columbia's season. Ivy League gets started a week later than everybody else. Slider down and away, could not induce a swing from Selinsky, but a good pitch nonetheless. An action plan there from Jack O'Connor. Now see what he does, 1-2, 1 out, bases empty, and the tall right-hander delivers. Swung on, lifted in the air towards straightaway center field. O'Donnell back a couple of steps, comes to a stop, and then trots in a little bit over into right center to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down to start the inning, and 8 up, 8 down to start the game for Jack O'Connor. Now Jack Cale will be the batter for the Lions here. O'Connor, the WCAC Player of the Year last year, his senior campaign at Bishop O'Connell High School, the Knights. Very strong baseball program, very strong baseball conference, the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference. Fastball fouled back, it's 0-1. Also a first-team All-Washington D.C. Metro area selection according to the Washington Post. That is also very heady company. The 0-1, a little bit wide, 1-1. When you spread it out from just the WCAC to that, talk about densely populated area, cover the entire DMV region, and a first-team All-Metro selection. Dominant senior year from Jack O'Connor at Bishop O'Connell. Next one wide, 2 balls and 1 strike. To Jack Cale, left-hand hitting second baseman. Freshman has been in the lineup all 3 games at the spot. 5'8" left-handed batter, takes a fastball high, 3-1. Out of McMurray, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh. 5'8", 175. The 3-1 pitch from O'Connor is up and in, ball 4. Second time that Cale has worked a walk in this series. And now the top of the lineup for Columbia and Cole Hage. First base runner for the Lions this afternoon, and it is Cale's 2-out walk. Now Hage, a late swing and a miss at a first pitch slider from O'Connor, and it's 0-1. O'Connor had him looking on strikes in the first. That was on nothing but fastballs. Now starting him with a slider, and Hage, a late decision to swing. Hage launched a leadoff home run in game 2 of this series and at the doubleheader on Friday. The 0-1, tapped foul back, 0-2. Junior out of Fargo, North Dakota, actually put Virginia behind in a game for the first time this season. Now, it was short-lived, as in the bottom of the second, I mentioned before, Henry Godbout launched a 3-run homer. That put Virginia in front, and they would stay ahead the remainder of the game. Now the 0-2 pitch from O'Connor. Breaking ball high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nevertheless, Hage and company, I guess, did something that no other opponent had been able to do through the first 5 games of the year. That was grab a lead against Virginia. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base. No score, top of the third, and O'Connor deals. Little bouncer over to third base. Again takes a big hop. Geloff able to play the adjustment and fire on to first to retire the side. At second hop, Geloff glove down by his knee, ready to field it low. It bounced up on him, but again makes the play. After 2.5 innings now in Charlottesville, still no score between the Who's and the Lions. See if Virginia can finally break through against Joe Sheets as we go bottom 3 from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park. In a scoreless game between UVA and Columbia. Sunny skies overhead in Charlottesville, 58 degrees for this Sunday finale. Breaking ball strike to start Griff O'Farrell. No balls, 1 strike. It's O'Farrell, O'Donnell, and Geloff. Top of the order for Virginia, and the second trip through now against the sophomore righty. Another breaking ball for a strike. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes to count. Joe Sheets out of Salesianum School in Delaware. Wilmington native. Long look into Weston Eberly, his catcher. And now ready to go, the 0-2. Swung on, lifted out towards center field. Straight away for Solinsky, drifting back a couple of steps, squares the shoulders, and a one-handed catch for out number 1. Now Ethan O'Donnell to the plate. Sheets listed as a sophomore, which I found interesting considering this is his 3rd year at Columbia. And again, the Ivy League schools only allowing guys 4 years to complete their degrees, and that means if they have extra athletic eligibility, they would have to complete it elsewhere. Pitch misses outside. Eberly tries to frame it, but couldn't sell it. 1-0. Weston Eberly, actually, who received that pitch, is a perfect example. He is a senior, and because of the extra year he's got because of the 2020 season, Eberly already knows that he is going to go spend next year playing at the University of Georgia. Fastball misses wide to O'Donnell. 2 balls, no strikes. Same for the right fielder Hayden Schott, who's going to go play at Texas A&M next year. And it's not like they're leaving Columbia shorthanded because those are the Ivy League rules. Fastball wide, 3 balls, no strikes. But for Sheets, a sophomore in terms of his eligibility, but it is his 3rd season at Columbia. 3-0 pitch. And that's a called strike, 3-1. So hitters count for O'Donnell. Bounced out his first time. 3 hits, including 2 doubles in the series. Grounds one sharply right side, over to play at Kale. Flips to the pitcher covering, and it goes 4-1 in the putout. Dardar abandoned ship, and that meant that the pitcher Sheets had to hustle over, but he did so. Second time today that O'Donnell has hit a ball on the ground to Jack Kale. So 2 up, 2 down to start the inning. And now Jake Geloff, the batter for Virginia. Geloff, who doubled to deep left field his first time up. 3 infielders to the left of second base. They shift him to the pull side. And he takes a fastball for a called strike. Almost wonder if that caught Jake by surprise. That might be the first time all weekend that Jake has seen a first pitch fastball. The 0-1. Off the end of the bat, right side. Long run for the second baseman. That one is going to dunk in. He was coming from the shortstop side of the bag. No chance to get there. And Geloff is now 2 for 2. And another 2-out base runner for Virginia. Now Kyle Teal now for UVA. And again, second trip through now against Sheets. See if Virginia can make some adjustments. And a lot of it has to do with how well the sinker baller, how good of a job he is doing of keeping the ball down. As he misses low this time, 1 ball, no strikes. Off speed to start Teal. Teal grounded out to the second baseman, Cale, his first time up. Jack Cale has been a busy man at second base. He has already had 4 balls hit on the ground his way through 2 innings and change. Another one low to Teal. 2 balls, no strikes. Sheets glancing out of the corner of his eye over at first, now to the set at the belt. And the 2-0 to Teal. At the knees, called a strike, 2-1. Good spot there by the right-hander Sheets. Well, 3 hits in the ball game for Virginia. 2 of them belong to Jake Geloff, who was aboard at first with 2 outs. Scoreless game, bottom of 3. And the righty deals, down and in. Breaking ball moved the feet of Teal. So 3-1 now. Kyle Teal in the driver's seat. And a 3-1. Off the end of the bat, foul. To be a little bit out in front, even on a fastball that time from Joe Sheets. But Teal anxious to launch on that 3-1 pitch. And now the count goes full 3-2. And I think Teal then asked home plate umpire John Mang just to confirm that would have been a called strike had he not offered at it. Kyle not only always a great sense of the strike zone, but always wanting to be talking to somebody. So I think it was equal parts, both things in that case. Runner off from first, and the pitch missing down and in, ball 4. And Teal works a walk. So Geloff up to second base. Casey Sauke now for Virginia. He singled his first time up. Big cut and a miss. Sinker that time dipping beneath the bat of Sauke, and it's 0-1. Geloff at second, Teal at first. So for the 3rd consecutive inning, Virginia gets a man into scoring position with 2 outs. Can Sauke finally be the one to cash in for Virginia and get the Hoos on the board? Righty Sheets from the belt, a look back to second. Now the 0-1. Breaking ball over the inside edge. That's a called strike. 0-2. Good backdoor slider from the righty Sheets. And not a ton Sauke could do with that. Started it at his front shoulder, dropped it in for a called strike. So 0-2 the count quickly to Sauke now. He's going to have to battle up with runners at first and second, 2 outs. And the pitch fouled back. And we'll do it again, 0-2. And to be honest, I don't think that's where Sheets intended for that 0-2 slider to end up. About letter high. Nevertheless, 2 men on with 2 men out. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Casey Sauke. And the pitch from Sheets. Looped foul right side. That will get out of play. And that's more the spot. He was trying to throw that slider. Might have caught the outside corner, but if not, just off of it. Just about a perfectly placed pitch that time, but Sauke able to foul it off, extend the at-bat. Geloff at second, Teal at first with 2 outs. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Virginia's Casey Sauke. Righty against righty, and the pitch. Breaking ball again, fouled back. Sticking with that slider, Sauke has now fouled off 3 of them in a row. And the count holds at 0-2. Tell you what, Sheets has not thrown a pitch out of the strike zone in this at-bat, forcing Sauke to swing the bat. See if he can straighten something out now. Second baseman Kale creeping in behind the lead runner Geloff, but just as a decoy, the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Finally extending off the outside corner. And a point out to the mound from the catcher Eberle, as they thought they had set that up nicely. And he executed the plan there. But Sauke did not offer at it. So 1-2 the count now. Again, nothing but sliders in the at-bat for Sauke. The 1-2. Another one, and he skies it out towards left center field. Selinsky and Hage converge. It'll be Selinsky, the center fielder, on a little leap at the end to make the catch. And that will retire the side. So Virginia, yet again, gets a man to scoring position but do not score. And now at the end of 3 complete innings of play from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park, it's Virginia and Columbia scoreless. Scoreless game between Virginia and Columbia as we head to the top of the 4th in Charlottesville. 3 inning totals, and let's put it this way for Columbia, a lot of zeros across for the Lions. Meantime, for Virginia, it's been no runs on 3 hits and no errors. Virginia in this game has left 5 runners on base. 3 of them have been left in scoring position. Columbia has left just the 1 base runner at first last inning. First pitch slider from Jack O'Connor, a called strike to Andy Blake, and it's 0-1. 2-3-4 for the Lions here. Blake, Dardar, and Eberle. Next one down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was the 34th pitch of the game for Jack O'Connor. Meantime, Virginia has made Joe Sheets throw 54 pitches to get through his 3 innings of work. Another slider from O'Connor and a cut and a miss from Blake. And it's 1-2. Blake, the hardest contact so far for Columbia, lining a ball right at the shortstop. O'Farrell, his first time up. The 1-2. Popped up, foul right side and out of play. So we'll do it again, 1-2. Hayden Schott had the deepest struck ball so far by Columbia, but in terms of exit velocity, Blake really hit it on the barrel. The 1-2 pitch now from O'Connor. Again goes to that left side, and this one is going to settle into left center field for a base hit. Blake wants 2. Throw goes to second on a line. It is a strike, and that is an outfield assist for the first out of the inning. What a great throw right on the money from O'Donnell to set down Andy Blake, trying to stretch it into a double. Not so fast, says the Who's center fielder. Got to it quickly to cut it off, and then again, a perfect strike into second base. So we're going to look at a replay. Did a good job of getting around it as well to set himself up to make that strong throw. And first pitch to Seth Dardar in there for a strike. Still goes down as the first hit of the game for Columbia. Nevertheless, O'Connor will obviously take the out recorded. Fastball for strike 2 called. Quickly 0-2 to Dardar. Grounded out his first time up. One out, base is empty. The 0-2 from Jack O'Connor. Up and away, 1-2. I'll tell you this, now through watching Ethan O'Donnell through 6+ games, the jumps he gets off the bat. I mean, he might not be the fastest center fielder that Virginia has had, but just excellent reads in center field. And I think that's probably what sets him apart defensively. Pitch missing down, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's not the kind of thing where Virginia has had center fielders in years past where you think there's no way a guy's going to get to that ball, but their closing speed is such that somehow they do. O'Connor, speaking of speed, blows it by the right-hand hitting Dardar on a fastball at 93. And Virginia's first year has strikeout number 3 this afternoon. But for O'Donnell, it's the fact that off the bat, you think, oh, it's going to be a long run to get to it, and you look up and realize that O'Donnell is somehow already halfway there. So 2 outs, bases empty now for Weston Eberle. And O'Connor misses with a slider, 1-0. No score, Virginia and Columbia top of 4. And now the 1-0 pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul, rolling towards the Columbia dugout. Picked up by Hayden Schott, who waits on deck. So 1-1 to Weston Eberle. Senior catcher. Grounded out to short his first time up. And the 1-1 now from O'Connor is at the knees, called a strike, 1-2. Eberle last year, a .306 hitter, 7 homers and 41 runs batted in a very strong junior campaign. Takes the next one low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. First team all Ivy League selection for his efforts last season. And rated as the number 3 draft eligible prospect in the Ivy League by D1 Baseball this year. Coming into the season. 2-2 pitch now from O'Connor, fouled straight back. 93, caught a lot of the plate that time, but all Eberle can do is send it back into the netting. Mentioned earlier, Eberle will spend next year playing at Georgia for his final year of eligibility at the collegiate level. Now the 2-2 pitch from Jack O'Connor. That's upstairs. Breaking ball misses high, 3-2. To Weston Eberle out of Maitland, Florida. Orlando suburb, played his high school ball at Bishop Moore Catholic High in Orlando. the Hornets. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the 4th. In a scoreless game, here comes the 3-2 pitch from Jack O'Connor. Swung on, line down the left field line. That is a fair ball. Didowick over to get to it. And I think Eberle learned his lesson as Didowick gets it back in quickly. Not to test these Virginia outfielders. And he will be content with a 2-out single. Now Hayden Schott. Left-hand hitter flied out to center field in his first at-bat. Upright stance from the left side. Breaking ball from O'Connor misses 1-0. O'Connor just threw his 50th pitch of the game. He's been fairly efficient in this ball game for the Who's. Spinning a check on the runner at first base. Diving back in goes the base runner Eberle. He is the catcher and only attempted 4 stolen bases all of last year. Now the 1-0 pitch to Schott, swing and a miss. A little tardy on a fastball there. 1-1. Schott played in all 50 games last year for Columbia. In fact, the only player on their roster to do so, and he made the most of it, hitting .320 with 12 home runs and 55 runs batted in. The 1-1. That's upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. 8 of his 12 home runs came in Ivy League play, and that actually tied the league record for most home runs in league play. And again, over the course of the doubleheader on Friday, he went 4 for 8 with a double. So he's picked up right where he left off after a first-team All-Ivy League season a year ago. 6' 2" left-handed batter from Newport Beach, California, Hayden Schott. Deep breath from Jack O'Connor, right-hander ready to go, set at the belt. 2 outs, runner at first, checks that way again. And Eberle once again diving back in. Sharing a wry smile with the Columbia first base coach, volunteer assistant Canyon Kyle. 2-1 pitch now. Up and away, 3 balls, 1 strike. Seem to be laughing about the fact that O'Connor keeping such a close eye on Eberle, who, again, is the catcher. Almost as if to say, I'm not going anywhere. 3 balls and a strike to Hayden Schott. And the pitch. Lifted foul, out of play. Well, Eberle will be running with the pitch now with 3 balls, 2 strikes on the batter and 2 outs in the inning. Otherwise, I don't think there was any chance they were going to start him from first. So payoff pitch to come from Jack O'Connor. Good battle here between Virginia's young, talented arm and the veteran Hayden Schott. Little squibber over towards short. O'Farrell fields off balance, sling to first, and a nice accurate throw. Throwing across his body from Griff O'Farrell that time. And the inning is over. So a 2-out single for Eberle. He is left at first, and at the end of 3.5 innings of play, still no score between Virginia and Columbia.
All right, friends, it's time to announce the answer and winner of today's Twitter trivia question. Today's question was, every starting pitcher has recorded a win this season, true or false? The answer was true. Congratulations to Emily Thorne for winning today's Twitter trivia. Emily, come meet the marketing staff next
Ethan Anderson will lead things off for Virginia as we go bottom four. Anderson, Godbout, and Didewick against the right-hander Joe Sheets. Virginia trying to get something across in this scoreless game. Sunday finale is the Hoos going for a sweep of Columbia. And Sheets deals down and away, 1 ball, no strikes to Anderson. Switch hitter batting left. Frank W. Cox High School graduate Ethan Anderson, who finished up a year early at age 17 to enroll at UVA last year. Grounds one left side over to play at the shortstop Blake. Backhands, steps and throws to first. 1 away. Anderson having become the everyday first baseman this year for Virginia. Bounces out 6-3 to start the inning, and now Henry Godbout. This young man has obviously impressed to kickstart the season. And the pitch over the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Godbout hit by a pitch his first time up. Swings and grounds one over to third. Past the diving third baseman Lazitz and into left field, a base hit. So Godbout has his first hit of the day and 4th of the series. And Harrison Didewick will be the batter for Virginia. I was talking after the series last weekend with Virginia's sports information director about it's curious that baseball in the ACC has not adopted what the other sports have with the weekly awards and not honoring a freshman or rookie of the week. Line drive, foul. Easy call for the third base umpire Dave Susie as he was standing on the line and dove onto the field of play, and the ball was to his right, so he knew it was a foul ball. Didewick trying to go the opposite way for extra bases, narrowly missing, and the count 0-1. But in thinking about Virginia's nominee for Rookie of the Week last week, if there was such an award, Jack O'Connor would have been an obvious candidate for the 5 innings of one-hit baseball in the win over UNC Wilmington. And this week, I would think that Henry Godbout would be an obvious candidate. 4 hits, 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored. But alas, that award, at least as of now, does not exist. The 0-1 fouled back, 0-2 on Harrison Didewick. With Sheets, the Columbia right-hander, now up to 60 pitches. There is activity behind him in the Lions bullpen, a right-hander throwing. Didewick takes down, runner about halfway to second base, and the throw behind Godbout. He just got hung up, straying very far from first. And a snap throw from Eberle. They pick him off fairly easily. I don't know exactly if it was confusion on a sign or he just strayed too far from first, but either way, he is picked off on the throw from the catcher Eberle. Just like that, 2 outs, base is empty. And now the 1-2 pitch to Harrison Didewick. Breaking ball swung on and missed. So when it's all said and done, Sheets ends up facing the minimum 3 batters in this 4th inning, punctuated with his second strikeout of the ball game. At the end of 4 complete, it's some dirt maintenance on the infield in between innings as we go to the 5th. Still Virginia and Columbia, no score. 4 complete in the books, still nothing decided, and in fact, nothing across for either team. Virginia and Columbia in a scoreless tie as we go to the 5th. Jack O'Connor back to the mound for Virginia. He'll face the 6, 7, 8 hitters for Columbia. Anton Lazitz, Cole Fellows, and Sky Solinsky. O'Connor about to throw his 56th pitch of the ball game. Right-hander from Northern Virginia against the sophomore third baseman Anton Lazitz for Columbia. The pitch just missed away, 1-0. 10th all-time matchup today between Virginia and Columbia, including the 2 earlier in this weekend. Virginia now leads the all-time series 8 wins to Columbia's 1. Pitch fouled away, and it's 1-1. Virginia exacting a little revenge on Friday as the most recent meeting prior to Friday's doubleheader in 1926. Columbia victorious by a 6-5 final score. 1-1 pitch fouled away, 1-2. I'm sure that was at the forefront of every Virginia player's mind, that 1926 loss, as Virginia went out and swept the doubleheader on Friday. Now the 1-2 pitch from O'Connor, hit on the ground towards third. Couple of hops into the glove of Geloff. Fields waist high, fires to first. 1 away. Now Cole Fellows for Columbia.
Batting for Columbia, the designated hitter number 3, Cole Fellows.
That said, Virginia has had a lot of recent activity with the Ivy League. You might remember Cornell in town last season and Virginia sweeping that series. Combined final score of 50-12 in the 3 wins over the Big Red. Fastball swung on, fouled away by Fellows, a left-handed batter, and it's 0-1. 1 out, base is empty. Top of the 5th, no score. In 2020, Virginia hosted Dartmouth for 3 games. Might have noticed skipping 2021. That's because the Ivy League canceled its 2021 season. One ball, 1 strike, the count to Fellows. And O'Connor deals. Lifted towards left field, drifting back Didowick, back towards the warning track now, and on the track he will make the catch. Fellows going the opposite way, gave it a pretty decent ride. Well, that is out number 2. 2 outs, base is empty now for Sky Solinsky. And in 2018, it was Yale visiting Charlottesville. Yale in 2018, Dartmouth in 2020, Cornell last year, and Columbia this year. Breaking ball for a strike call. 0-1 to Sky Solinsky. And this season facing the reigning Ivy League champs in Columbia, defeating Penn in last year's Ivy League championship series. Fastball misses high, 1-1. It's only the top 2 that qualify for the conference postseason. Columbia was the 2 seed last year. They faced the top seed Penn in Philadelphia for 3 games. Fastball strike, and it's 1-2. Penn, which actually featured a current Wahoo on their roster last year in Tommy Courtney. And Penn won the first game 13-3, looking like they were ticketed for the NCAA tournament, but not the case. Line drive, center field, and a nice long run from O'Donnell into a slide to make the catch, and that will retire the side with an exclamation point. Another great grab by O'Donnell, and I'll say it again, the kid gets excellent jumps off the bat. Side retired here in the top of the 5th, and at the end of 4.5 innings of play, we are halfway home with still nothing across between Virginia and Columbia. Now Virginia probably perfectly fine with seeing Joe Sheets' day done after just 62 pitches, as Columbia will go to the bullpen here in the 5th. They turn things over to Griffin Palfrey. Sophomore righty takes over on the mound out of the bullpen. 13 appearances a season ago. The 5'11", 200-pound right-hander to face Justin Rubin. It'll be 9-1-2 for Virginia. Rubin, O'Farrell, and O'Donnell. And a fastball high, 1-0. So today for Joe Sheets, it was 4 innings, just 62 pitches. They get him out of the game. The 1-0 lifted down the right field line, slicing and foul off into the seats. Bounces around that second row, and the count even up at a ball and a strike to Rubin. Sheets, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs. He plunked 2. He walked 1 and struck out 2. But again, 4 scoreless innings for the Columbia starter. Bottom of the 5th, no score. Breaking ball looked like behind the head of Justin Rubin. 2 balls and a strike to the Cavaliers' second baseman. Grounded out to third his first time up. Palfrey from the stretch, even with the bases empty, and deals a fastball. Looked pretty good, but called a ball inside. 3-1 the count. Now again the 3-1 pitch. Palfrey deals. And missed a little high. Ball 4. A couple of very close pitches that go Virginia's way as Rubin works a walk to start the inning. That'll flip it back to the top of the lineup and Griff O'Farrell. Griffin Palfrey, sophomore from Vancouver, British Columbia, and out of West Vancouver Secondary School, wears number 17 for Columbia. 13 appearances, 3 starts last year on the mound. He is a two-way guy and saw a decent number of time as a position player as well. Check on Rubin, who dives back in safely. Palfrey on the mound finished 4-0 with a save, a 4.37 ERA, 22 2/3 innings of work. O'Farrell bunting third base side, a good one. Fielded by the third baseman Lazitz, throws on to first in time for the out. Might be that kind of day. Virginia trying to manufacture a run, and O'Farrell, who had 4 sacrifice bunts last year, has his first of 2023. Now Ethan O'Donnell, runner at second, 1 out. See if Virginia can finally push something across. Palfrey, 22 innings last year, 25 strikeouts, only 11 walks. Opponents hit .256 against him. Pitch to O'Donnell, upstairs, 1-0. Showcasing a good arm so far. He's been sitting 90-91 with the fastball. O'Donnell 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts to the second baseman. Left-hand hitter against the righty Palfrey. And the Western Canadian native dealing 1-0 to O'Donnell. Line down the right field line. That is a foul ball into the Columbia bullpen. That's why they've got the player protecting the players warming up there. It's on one hop. It went right into his mitt. So ball and a strike to O'Donnell. Runner at second with 1 out. Mentioned Palfrey, a two-way guy. He had 48 at-bats last year. Started 18 games as a position player for Columbia. 1-1 pitch. Down and in, 2 balls and a strike. Hit just 188, no homers, 6 RBIs, and wonder if he will end up focusing more on the pitching side of things now moving forward, as obviously he was a big part of what they did on the mound last year. And first guy out of the pen today for the Lions in a tie game. Look back to second, the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip. Caught by the catcher Eberle. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ethan O'Donnell. Palfrey won a couple of provincial titles at West Vancouver Secondary School, the Highlanders, where he played his high school ball before heading to Columbia. long way from home. 2-2 pitch now to Ethan O'Donnell. That's upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. O'Donnell again 0 for 2 so far today, but 3 hits and a pair of walks in the series so far. 2 doubles, an RBI. He has been swinging it well this weekend. Day off yesterday after the doubleheader sweep for Virginia on Friday. 3-2 pitch, reached for, looped foul, and the count remains full 3-2. Scoreless tie still, bottom of 5. Runner at second base is Rubin. Led off the inning with a walk. O'Farrell laid down a sacrifice bunt to move him to second base. Now somebody trying to drive him in. The payoff pitch to O'Donnell. That's upstairs, ball 4. So a couple of walks in the inning. Surrendered by the righty Griffin Palfrey, and now see if Jake Geloff can get Virginia on the board. Geloff, who so far has a double and a single today, now has 3 hits in the series. And they will throw behind the runner at second. High throw, but knocked down by the second baseman, Kale, leaping. It's a small target for Palfrey. The 5'8" second baseman for Columbia is actually going to shift to the shortstop side of the bag now. He's asking, how far over do you want me? And he's still very close to second base, almost playing right up the middle. But 3 infielders to the left of second shifted on Geloff to the pole side. The pitch to Geloff. Fastball right there for a strike, 0-1. Virginia, no runs, 4 hits. Columbia, no runs, 2 hits. As we play in the bottom of the 5th of this Sunday finale between the Wahoos and the Lions. Getaway day for Columbia. Virginia trying to improve to 7-0 on the year. The 0-1. And yes, he did. Fastball up and in. And not sure if it would have been a called strike either way, but Geloff, a light swing. Decided why not finish the swing, and it's 0-2. See if Jake can battle up now. He's got Rubin at second, O'Donnell at first with 1 out. Home half of the 5th. Palfrey deals, and a swing and a miss. Wow, reached back for 93 that time. And that is a big out number 2 as Jake Geloff is retired. Well, again, Virginia, through the first 4 innings of this game, have left 5 runners on base, 3 of them in scoring position. So, although the Cavaliers have not necessarily had a golden scoring opportunity, they have had opportunities nonetheless. Now, see if Kyle Teal can finally make Columbia pay for all the traffic on the base paths. Fastball upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. 92 up and out of the zone from Palfrey. Two-way guy, an infielder when not pitching. Again, 13 appearances, 3 starts, and pretty good numbers last year for the right-hander Griffin Palfrey. His 1-0 pitch now to Teal. Misses downstairs, 2-0. He was rated as the #1 shortstop in British Columbia by Perfect Game coming out of high school. Got to wonder how much competition he had for that top ranking in the eyes of Perfect Game. Either way, can't argue with the good arm he has displayed in this outing. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Hitters count for Teal, the 2-0 pitch. Way outside, 3-0. That one nowhere close. Well, veteran like Teal, we'll see if Virginia gives him the green light. Guy that has a very good sense of the strike zone. Does Virginia give him an opportunity to swing away 3-0? We will find out. Rubin at second and O'Donnell at first. They will now advance 90 feet as a fastball misses outside for ball 4. So Palfrey still 1 pitch, 1 out away from getting out of this inning, but he has walked the bases loaded in the frame. For the first time today, Virginia has a man as far as third base. And will now be the moment in which the Who's finally break through. Casey Sauke, the batter, he is 1 for 2 so far this afternoon. Bases loaded. Grounded out towards short. Blake fields at the kneecap. Throws to first. Inning over. So Palfrey loads the bases on 3 walks, but Virginia does not score here in the 5th. And Sauke's ground ball goes 6-3 to retire the side. Virginia now 8 runners left on base, including 5 left in scoring position. But at the end of 5 complete, still Virginia nothing, Columbia nothing. Last weekend in Wilmington for Jack O'Connor, it was 5 innings and 79 pitches. The young right-hander has been very efficient again today, just 66 pitches this time to get through 5 innings of work. He's back out there to, at the very least, start the 6th inning. There is activity behind him in the Cavalier bullpen as we move to the 6th. UVA and Columbia still scoreless. Jack Cale, the batter, and a fastball strike. It's 0-1. Virginia, leaving the bases loaded last half inning, have now left 8 runners on base in the game, including 5 in scoring position. So the opportunities have been there, but nothing across. Breaking ball bounced first base side, fielded by the pitcher O'Connor. He will just take it himself in the bag as he was already about, 5/8 of the way there, maybe more. And Cale is retired, 1 unassisted. The play was right in front of him. Why not? So 1 away here in the 6th now for the top of the order and Cole Hage. This is the other decision point, is about number of trips through a lineup that you'll allow a guy to go. Tandem of left-handers throwing behind O'Connor. Slider misses outside, 1-0. Bradley Hodges and Angelo Tonis. We saw Tonis on Friday work an inning for Virginia, allowing just 1 unearned run. Fastball high, it's 2-0. Hitters count for Cole Hage. He is 0 for 2 in the ballgame, and O'Connor's 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Back to that good slider, outside edge. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Certainly not giving in after having seen Hage's handiwork on Friday night with the opposite field home run. Not giving him a 2-0 fastball there. Now the 2-1 pitch. Foul tipped on another slider, 2-2. Virginia and Columbia scoreless, top of the 6th inning now. And our Sunday finale, as Virginia looking to sweep the 3-game set from the Lions. Now the 2-2 pitch. Slider popped up right field for Casey Sauke. In a few steps. And just before the shadow from the light bank, he makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down to start the inning, and now Andy Blake, the senior shortstop, will be the batter for Columbia. Wind has picked up a little bit as the day has gone along, but as has the temperature. We started at 57 degrees and now into the mid-afternoon. This one roped towards left field, pretty well tagged by Blake. He's actually hit it on the line twice today, but nothing to show for it. That one into the glove of Didowick in left field, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Lions here in the 6th, and didn't think, just considering early in the season, and he's a first year, we'd see Jack O'Connor for the 7th, but that might be the case now through 6 complete innings, and after an 8-pitch frame, he is still at only 74 pitches in the ballgame. On this 61-degree day in Charlottesville, we go bottom 6, still no score. Jack O'Connor has more than done his job today for Virginia with 6 scoreless innings now on the board for the first-year righty. The question is who from the offensive side of things will provide O'Connor with some run support. Ethan Anderson, Henry Godbout, Harrison Didowick, 6, 7, 8 for Virginia. We go to the bottom of the 6th still in a scoreless tie. Anderson a pair of groundouts today. Takes a 90-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike from Griffin Palfrey, who is back out for his 2nd inning of work. Walked the bases loaded in the 5th, but Virginia did not score. 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Starter Joe Sheets for 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 walks and a hit batter, but nothing across. The 1-1 pitch, fouled straight back, 1-2. Anderson looking to launch on a fastball down around the knees, but instead sent it straight back into the netting. Right-hander set, switch hitter batting left, Anderson, the 1-2. Tapped foul towards Columbia's dugout. And 1-2 the count to Ethan Anderson. Again, Virginia was a battle in Game 1 on Friday. Game 2 a little bit more lopsided in Virginia's favor, but this is a good Columbia club. Favorites to win the Ivy League. They return a ton from last year's Ivy League championship team, including this guy Palfrey, who just ran a 93-mile-an-hour fastball by the swing and miss of Anderson for his 2nd strikeout of the game. And there's 1 away. Elevated heat just up and out of the zone, and Anderson could not lay off. Projected to win the league not only by the league's SIDs, but also by D1 baseball. Henry Godbout, the batter now, takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. And they made it all the way to the regional championship game. And again, Ivy League's going to be a 1-bid league every year, but they were a 3 seed in the Blacksburg Regional. It's a really good Columbia program. The 0-1 popped him up on the infield. Foul ground. It's the catcher, Eberle, calling for it. Backing up into the V-Saber right at the edge of that turf collar, makes the catch. And that is out number 2 as Godbout quickly retired. And now Harrison Didowick. So left-hand hitter against the righty Palfrey. See if Didowick can get something started with 2 outs. At least break up the rhythm of the Columbia righty. Big swing and a miss at 92 over the outside edge. No balls and 1 strike. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Backed it up with 94 that time, as high as we've seen Palfrey go. No balls, 2 strikes the count to Harrison Didowick, hit by a pitch in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth. The 0-2. Up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Didowick checked in today at .217, a couple of homers, 6 runs batted in. The 1-2 pitch now. That's outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Open stance, crouching stance for Didowick from the left side. The 2-2 pitch to him. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. 1, 2, 3 go the Who's here in the 6th inning. Power stuff from the right-hander Griffin Palfrey out of that Columbia bullpen. 6 complete innings in the books, folks, and still no score. We go to the 7th. Looks like Virginia is going to the bullpen, and we're back in just a moment. Well, the day is done for right-hander Jack O'Connor, and what a day it was. 6 innings of 2-hit baseball, and after 6 shutout frames and 74 pitches, the Cavaliers will turn it over to the bullpen. And left-hander Bradley Hodges, the first year from Fleming Island, Florida, out of St. John's Country Day in Jacksonville. The southpaw will face the heart of the order for Columbia, 3-4-5. Seth Dardar to lead it off. And he takes a fastball a little bit wide, I guess, and it's 1-0. We saw Hodges make his Virginia debut against Ohio last Saturday with a couple of scoreless innings. The 1-0 pitch popped him up left side, foul ground, and Teal giving chase to the dugout. But that one lands about 4 rows deep. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. In that outing, Hodges 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs, 2 strikeouts. We are in the 7th, still no score. Again, Dardar, Eberle, and Schott for the Lions. Pitch swung on, fouled back, and it's 1-2. Hodges, 6'1", 195-pound lefty. Where's number 10 for Virginia? So this game will be decided by the bullpens, both in terms of win and loss, after 6 scoreless innings. Next one, foul tip caught by the catcher, Teal. And welcome to the game, Bradley Hodges. He strikes out Seth Dardar swinging, and there's one away. Now Weston Everly for Columbia. For Columbia, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base, nobody left in scoring position. For Virginia, no runs, 4 hits, no errors, 8 runners left, 5 runners left in scoring position. Fastball from Hodges misses down at 93. 1 ball, no strikes to Everly. 1 for 2 in the ball game and 2 for 6 in the series. The Columbia catcher grounds it sharply but foul between third base and Columbia third base coach Dan Tischler, their associate head coach. 11th season on 18th year head coach Brett Beretti's staff. Actually got him from Cornell, where he was an assistant prior to joining Coach Beretti. As the pitch from Hodges misses a little bit high. That was back in 2013, his first season on staff here at Columbia. 2 balls and a strike to Everly. Right-hand hitter against the lefty Hodges. 1 out and the base is empty. Next pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul. Good fastball at 93, diving down and away from the right-hand hitting Everly. So 2-2 the count. 1 out, base is empty. No score, top of the 7th. And the pitch from Hodges. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Picked up out of the dirt by Teal. Flips down to first to complete the strikeout. And it's 2 up, 2 down to start the inning as Everly is retired, and Hodges has now struck out each of the first 2 men he has faced in this 7th inning. So now Hayden Schott, one of the more dangerous batters in the Columbia lineup. Well, this is how you want to face him. 2 outs and the base is empty. Hodges lefty against lefty, kicks, deals. Breaking ball high, 1 ball, no strikes. Hodges, who picked up just about every honor you can as a senior at St. John's Country Day, pitching last year for the Spartans. His 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike. Doubles up with the breaking ball. This time finds the outside corner, 1-1. 2022 Florida Player of the Year, according to Prep Baseball Report. And the Florida Class 2A Player of the Year. The 1-1. There is, called the ball. He threw another breaking ball, and Schott bailed out of the batter's box. Looked like he was completely fooled, and it also looked like it was a strike, but not the case. 2-1 pitch now from Hodges. Over but low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count to Schott. 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out in this ball game. See what Hodges does now. And he pops the mitt over the inside edge for a strike, 3-2. A little bit of a delayed call from John Mang, and Schott did take a couple of steps towards first, but I don't think it was because he was trying to sell it. I think it was just because of the delayed call. Nevertheless, the count is full. Now the 3-2 pitch from Hodges. Fouled back. 92-mile-an-hour fastball perfectly placed over the outside corner. But Schott able to spoil it and live to see another pitch. Left-hander a deep breath. Now Hodges rocks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Bradley Hodges strikes out the side here in the 7th. As he sets down the heart of the order, Dardar, Everly, and Schott gets them all swinging. And the inning is over. After 6.5, it's time to stand up and stretch. Time to see if the Who's can finally get something across. Virginia to send Justin Rubin, Griff O'Farrell, and Ethan O'Donnell to the plate against Griffin Palfrey. When we come back to the sounds of Take Me Out of the Ball Game, we step aside. Still no score from Disharoon Park. All stretched out from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park, and a good crowd on hand that just stood up for the 7th inning stretch. Low 60s temperature-wise here in Central Virginia. Beautiful day for this series finale. Virginia looking for a sweep of Columbia, but some work to do. Still no score in this game between the Hoos and the Lions. As we go bottom 7, Justin Rubin attacking the first pitch. Skies it to left. Cole Hage started back, now coming in. Makes a one-handed catch, and on one pitch, there is one out. Griffin Palfrey back out for his 3rd inning out of the bullpen for Columbia. And now the top of the order, and Griff O'Farrell. Virginia has certainly had the better of the opportunities. They have left 5 runners in scoring position in this game. Righty against righty now. O'Farrell 0 for 2 with a sac bunt. And a fastball low, 1-0. Virginia 4 hits to Columbia's 2, but Virginia has also only allowed 1 walk on the mound, whereas Columbia pitching has allowed 4 and also plunked a couple of batters. Fastball fouled away by O'Farrell, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Going to have battles of all different varieties over the course of a season. They're not all going to be 11-3 wins like it was in Game 2 on Friday, much less the 26-run effort Virginia put up against Longwood on Tuesday. Off-speed pitch over the inside corner, 1-2. Virginia has put up 24 or more runs twice through their first 6 games of the year. 1-2 pitch, hit back up the middle, ranging is the second baseman Kale, knocks it down, picks it back up, and has no play. He was shaded up the middle. That ball bounced right over second base as O'Farrell truly hit it right back up the middle. But Kale, who got to it, had it pop right back out of his glove. And as a result, by the time he went to retrieve it, there was no play to be had at first base. So presumably an E4 that gets a 1-out base runner for Virginia. See if the Hoos can take advantage. Again, in Game 1, Virginia, the beneficiary of 3 Columbia errors, and they put up a couple of earned runs in that win. A 4-1 final score. O'Donnell takes fastball up and away, 1-0. Hey, looking for a run in any way, shape, or form. See if Virginia can take advantage of the gift-wrapped base runner here. Not to mention good speed aboard in O'Farrell at first. The 1-0 pitch now to O'Donnell. Not going, and a fastball misses upstairs, 2-0. O'Farrell, who last year stole 17 bases in 19 tries. You've also got a lefty at the plate, so more difficult throwing lane for the catcher, Eberle. But right now you got a 2-0 pitch to O'Donnell, so we'll see if they give Ethan an opportunity first before starting the runner. Meantime, a visit from first-year pitching coach Tom Carty, who heads to the mound now to talk with the staff. Product of Gwinnett Mercy University in Pennsylvania. Assuming that's located in Lower Gwinnett, just outside of Philadelphia. First-year pitching coach who spent the prior 6 seasons as the pitching coach at Long Island University, the Sharks out of the Northeast Conference. And before that, 9 seasons as the head coach at a Division II school, Georgia College in Milledgeville, Georgia. Actually went 311 and 169 during that time as a 9-year head coach at the D2 level. Now a long time as a D1 pitching coach, but his first season with Columbia. 2-0 pitch to O'Donnell and a swing and a miss. A little bit tardy on a fastball there. In Chapel Hill today, 12th ranked North Carolina 4, 11th ranked East Carolina 2 in the 6th inning. Pirates came back to win Game 1 on Friday. Runner goes this time on the 2-1 pitch. Throw to second base is going to be late because O'Farrell navigated around the tag attempt from the shortstop Blake it looked like he put his glove down, and O'Farrell made a move to try and get around the tag. And according to second base umpire Jeff Doy, he did exactly that. Obviously, Columbia is going to protest, and it looks like they are going to ask for a video review. I mean, the throw beat O'Farrell by a good stretch, but again, Blake just put the tag down on the dirt, almost as if waiting for O'Farrell to slide into his tag. And it looked like at the very least he might have, well, he made it competitive to say the least because the original call was safe. But he might have avoided the tag altogether. Andy Blake was in utter disbelief. But it'll take a review to see what happens. For the moment, O'Farrell is at second with one out. All right, a look at the replay, and it's tough to tell exactly if and when Blake made contact. And, I mean, this has been the issue over the course of the first couple of games of this series. Unable to tell exactly when a tag is applied. And the fact that the initial call was safe. All right, we do have a different angle for this one, so maybe we'll get something here. And again, I mean, it's just impossible to tell whether it is clear and convincing and definitive that the tag was applied before the arm got into second. Because the whole argument is that the glove never made contact with O'Farrell's left arm as he snuck it around the glove of Blake. And if by the time he finally put a tag on his leg is the first time he made contact, then O'Farrell would certainly be safe. But if he got the arm, he would clearly be out. It's just impossible to tell if and when contact was made with that left arm. Again, I will not be surprised either way. The throw beat him by so much. It was a little bit of a shock from the start to see the initial call be safe. But now it's almost an even more difficult task for the umpires to decide based on the review that he definitely tagged him. And again, that's exactly what's going to happen. There just is not available video review that clearly shows if a tag was applied. So O'Farrell is indeed safe with a stolen base. Again, a heck of a throw from Eberle that beat the runner by a really big stretch, but an impressive slide from O'Farrell for his third stolen base of the year to get himself into scoring position. So man at second, one out. Ethan O'Donnell is the batter in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The potential go-ahead run at second, O'Donnell fouls it away off the netting. And we'll do it again, 2-2. Elevated fastball at 91 that time. Two different angles to look at, and you just could not tell with certainty that he got the tag on O'Farrell. Wasn't obvious that he didn't, but because the initial call was safe, again, you just have to stick with it. 2-2 pitch. Up and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. O'Donnell laying off a fastball from the righty Palfrey, who continues to work, and Palfrey is up over 40 pitches out of the bullpen. Again, he's been a hard-throwing righty, but command has been back and forth at times. Runner at second, 1 out, the payoff pitch. Down and in, ball 4. Ends up as much ado about nothing after the stolen base review as ultimately O'Donnell walks. Activity in the Columbia bullpen again. There is a right-hander throwing, and that is James Vaughn. So now Jake Geloff, here's that man again, 2 for 3 in the game. A chance to put Virginia in front at long last. 1 out, runners at first and second. Palfrey from the belt, looks to second, now deals. Fastball, outside edge for a called strike, 0-1. Maybe even giving Palfrey a couple of baseballs off the outside corner, but close enough. 0-1 to Geloff. O'Farrell at second, O'Donnell at first. Breaking ball, a little check swing tapper foul. So quickly 0-2 now on Geloff. He doubled in the first, he singled in the third. I'll tell you this, difficult time of day right now with the shadows splitting the distance between the plate and the pitcher's mound as that ball disappears into the shadows mid-flight on its way to the batter. Especially when there's a guy throwing as hard as the right-hander Palfrey for Columbia does. Scoreless game, last of the seventh. Virginia with 2 men on, only 1 man out. And Geloff at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Palfrey looks to second, deals. Down and away with a breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Geloff, who already has 14 RBIs on the year for Virginia after he drove in 81 to set the single season record last year, eclipsing Pavin Smith's high water mark. Now the 1-2 pitch. Geloff fouls it back. We'll do it again. Smith had held the record with 77. Geloff broke it last year with 81. And again, off to another hot start with 14 RBIs already for Virginia here in Game 7. He's got a chance to add to that total in this spot here. 1-2 pitch, popped up foul right side, slicing out of play, and will end up in the camera well. And the fan there lost his footing, slipped and went down, trying to catch that foul ball. Now helped back to his feet. Hopefully he at least gets the baseball for his effort. It looks like he will. Now the 1-2 pitch again to Geloff. Misses upstairs with a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So from 0-2, Jake has worked to back even. 2 balls, 2 strikes as that fastball missing way up and out of the zone. Palfrey trying to see if he could get Geloff to help him out, but he would not, at least on that offering. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Geloff with 14 RBIs already this season and a chance for more. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, lifted out towards center field. Playable for Selinsky. Trots over a little bit into right center to make the catch. And that is out number 2. Back to second, O'Farrell. Back to first, O'Donnell. Well, to Virginia's benefit now is the fact that with 2 outs, O'Farrell at second can break with contact. Good speed aboard for the Hoos with O'Farrell at second and O'Donnell at first. And Kyle Teal, left-handed batter, 0 for 1 with 2 walks in the game. Palfrey deals and a fastball fouled back and out of play. And the count 0-1. Virginia, through the first 5 innings, had left 8 on base, 5 in scoring position, including the bases loaded in that 5th inning. Now bottom of the 7th, runners at first and second, 2 outs in what is still a scoreless game. No balls, 1 strike. Righty on the mound against the lefty at the plate. Teal takes a changeup down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. A battle of the bullpens on both sides. Palfrey in his 3rd inning of work. Bradley Hodges just tossed his 1st inning. Struck out the side, by the way, for Virginia in the top of this 7th inning. Now can the offense finally break through against Griffin Palfrey and Columbia? The 1-1. Teal swings, lines it, but foul. Deflecting off of the sidewall and into the Columbia bullpen, where the right-hander James Vaughn continues to loosen up. Seemingly ready by this juncture. He's been throwing the entire inning, and it's been a fairly long half inning. Got to believe he would be ready if called upon. Second baseman Kale is backed up into short right field. He's on the outfield grass. O'Farrell at second. representing the potential go-ahead run. O'Donnell behind him at first. Scoreless game, bottom of the 7th, as Teal lines one out towards center field, but playable for Selensky, and we have now played 7 complete scoreless innings. Runners left at first and second, make it 10 left in the game now for Virginia. As we go to the 8th, still no score, Virginia and Columbia. Early in this game, about the 2nd or 3rd, mentioned it was shaping up to be a pitcher's duel as both starter seemed to be on their mark today. But didn't think we'd get to the 8th. Still scoreless. 7 complete in the books. Nothing across for Virginia and Columbia. As Bradley Hodges pumps in a fastball strike to Anton Lazitz, and the count 0-1. Lazitz, Fellows, and Selensky, the scheduled batters for this Columbia club. Next one grounded up the middle, past the dive of Griff O'Farrell and into center field, a base hit. Lazitz, his first hit of the day. Oh, Hodges, who struck out the side in the 7th, now has to work from the stretch for the first time today. There is some activity behind him in the bullpen. Jay Woolfolk has begun throwing. Saw Jay for an inning on Friday night. Just 14 pitches and a 1-2-3 frame. Bunt attempt from Fellows. He fouls it back in the count 0-1. Fellows again making his first career start today. Freshman who came on as a pinch hitter in Game 2 on Friday and singled. Earns the start. And so far has grounded out to second and flied to left. So obviously without a sacrifice bunt so far this season. The 0-1 pitch, he squares again, pushes it back in front of the plate. Teal out to retrieve it. Fires on down to Anderson at first. One away, but a successful sacrifice for Fellows. It goes 2-3 on the putout. Deadened it about halfway between the mound and the plate. And even if it wasn't perfectly placed, it was well struck in terms of pace to get the man over. So runner at second, 1 out, and this is the first time today that Columbia has had a runner in scoring position at any point. And Kyle Teal out to talk with Hodges. Sky Selensky is the batter. Selensky 0 for 2. He is flied to center and lined out to center field. A nice sliding catch by O'Donnell to rob him of a hit to end the 5th. And the ball swung on, tapped foul above Virginia's dugout. And the count 0-1 on Sky Solinsky. Hodges deals, and a fastball fouled straight back. Quickly 0-2. On the right hand hitting Solinsky, with Lazis at second, representing the potential go-ahead run in this scoreless tie, top of the 8th. Singleton was advanced to second on the bunt. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Columbia. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for Virginia. 0-2. Line, shallow right field. That's going to dunk in for a base hit. And stopping at third base is Lazits. The throw went through to the plate in the air, but on a line from short right field from Sauke. So all of a sudden, Columbia set up very nicely. Their first meaningful threat today has turned into a significant one. Runners at the corners, only 1 out. As that little bloop shot from Solinsky ends up putting a man at third with less than 2 outs. And Jack Cale is the batter. He has walked and grounded out. Pitching coach Drew Dickinson will head out to the mound, which would seem to indicate Hodges is going to get to face Cale, as you would expect, lefty against lefty. And I also don't know whether Woolfolk is actually ready to come into the game just yet. Top of the lineup in Hage, and that might be Woolfolk's man either way. Now the entire infield will join Coach Drew on the mound. Again, Lazits at third, Solinsky at first, with just 1 out in this scoreless tie, top of the 8th. And Chapel Hill, 12th ranked North Carolina, leading East Carolina 5-2. As they look to even up that series. Their game yesterday got canceled, so they're only playing a home and home. It was supposed to be 2 of 3 in Greenville and then 1 in Chapel Hill. They will only play 2 games, 1 at each site over the course of the weekend. Pirates won in front of their home fans on Friday. UCF leads Clemson 6-5 in Clemson in the 5th inning in that matchup. Now Hodges again ready to go. UCF going for a sweep today. Pitch to Cale, breaking ball. This is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Did look to be off the plate away. Florida State in front of TCU, 2-0 in the 3rd. FSU won game 1 10-1, game 2 10-8 in Fort Worth. The 1-0 pitch now to Cale. Lefty deals, outside, breaking ball missed, 2-0. And the Noles lead the 8th-ranked Horned Frogs 2-0 in the 3rd. Here in Charlottesville, no score, Virginia and Columbia. The Lions have Lazits at third base. Pretty good speed there. Solinsky at first with 1 out. 2-0 pitch to Jack Cale. Downstairs, 3-0. Well, you obviously don't want to put him on intentionally, as that would mean 2 men in scoring position, but the one thing it would do is put a force at any base. 3 balls, no strikes to Cale. Hodges deals, and inside corner for a strike, 3-1. Again, I would suspect that by this point, Jay Woolfolk would be ready, and the top of the order, Hage and Blake, actually 1 and 2, both right-handed batters. So I would think this is the last man for Hodges either way. Lefty against lefty, 3-1 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Revved it up to 92 and blew a fastball by him. That'll fill the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. I was going to say, I'd wondered if once they got a strike on him, Columbia would think about the 1st and 3rd bunt play with Cale, but obviously not the case, as he took a big swing there. Now the count full at 3-2. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Hodges pitch. Over but low, ball 4. So the bases are loaded with just the 1 out. And with Cole Hage coming to the plate, I got to believe Brian O'Connor will make his way to the mound, and indeed he will. So Jay Woolfolk ready in Virginia's bullpen now, and it'll be the first time that the closer is called upon in a serious test this season. As there's the sign from the skipper, and Woolfolk, who worked a perfect inning in the 7-0 win over UNCW and worked a perfect inning against Columbia Friday night, will take over now and try and wiggle out of this some way, somehow. Bases loaded, 1 out in Charlottesville, still no score in the 8th between Virginia and Columbia. Third appearance of the season for Jay Woolfolk, and over the course of his first 2, he has faced 6 batters. He has retired all of them, and he has struck out 4 of them. Will be a big spot for one right here as he will face Cole Hage. Bases loaded up with Columbia Lions and only 1 out in the top half of the 8th inning. No score between Virginia and Columbia, and Woolfolk looking to find a way to keep it that way. He'll face Cole Hage, who is 0 for 3 in the game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Woolfolk from the belt. Kicks, deals. Slider outside, 1-0. Woolfolk faced 3 hitters on Friday night. It was 2 pinch hitters and the backup catcher, so nobody in the lineup today that has already gotten to see Woolfolk. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball outside, 2-0. Revved it up to 94, but missed off the plate away. 2 balls, no strikes to Cole Hage. Lazitz at third, Solinsky at second, Kale at first. 2-0 pitch is in there for a called strike, 2-1. Fastball over the outside corner. And see if Woolfolk can come all the way back now. The 2-1 pitch. Slider down and away. 3 balls and a strike. 85-mile-an-hour slider, but he bounced it in and not inducing anything from Hage there. Virginia and Columbia scoreless, but that fact hangs in the balance right now. 3 balls and 1 strike to Hage. And the pitch from Woolfolk is strike 2 called. Fastball over the outside corner at 93. So a payoff pitch to come. And a big one, biggest so far in this game. Jay Woolfolk against Cole Hage. Righty against righty, bases loaded, 1 out. And here it is from the Cavalier right-hander. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball blew it by him. A huge second out. Not out of the woods yet, but Woolfolk just made it a little bit easier for himself by setting down Hage. Well, after falling behind 2-0, he climbs back to set down his man, and now bases loaded, 2 outs, force at any base. One pitch to get out of this thing. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch. Swung on and skied out towards right center field. Should get him out of the inning. O'Donnell is under it, drifting over, makes the catch. Columbia do not score here in the 8th. What a job from Jay Woolfolk coming in. Bases loaded, 1 out. The Lions do not score. Lazitz left at third, Selinsky at second, Kale at first. And now see if that will propel Virginia's offense finally in this game. Still tied at 0 as we go bottom 8th in Charlottesville.
New pitcher of the game for Columbia, number 27, James Vaughn.
What a job from Jay Woolfolk to preserve the scoreless tie. And now as we go to the last of the 8th inning, we'll see if Virginia can finally put up a run. It's the Who's and the Lions tied at 0, and a new pitcher on out of the Columbia bullpen is James Vaughn, junior right-hander from New York City, will take over. Sauke, Anderson, and Godbout, the scheduled batters against the junior righty. And Vaughn's first pitch is a slider at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. Sauke 1 for 3 so far today. Virginia happy to see Griffin Palfrey out of the game. 3 scoreless innings for Palfrey, striking out 3. Next pitch, a little bit wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Palfrey, by the way, threw 56 pitches in this game. Now Vaughn, 6'5" right-hander, deals down and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. Vaughn out of the collegiate school in New York City and came to Columbia by way of Monroe College, a JUCO in New Rochelle, New York. The 2-1 pitch, slider, missed away. 3 balls and 1 strike. This after spending his freshman season in 2021 at Duke. He did not see any game action with the Blue Devils, but nevertheless does have 1 prior season of time in the ACC. 3-1 pitch. Sauke grounds it sharply but foul. Off the tarp and down towards the left field corner. Count is full at 3-2. So Vaughn, his freshman year in Durham, his sophomore year in the New York City suburbs, and now his first season with Columbia. 3-2 pitch to Casey Sauke now. Fouled back. Slider hung up around the letters. And Sauke shoots it straight back to the backstop. So a payoff pitch to come. Once again from James Vaughn to Casey Sauke. Anderson and Godbout to follow here last of the 8th. Still no score to this point. The payoff pitch chopped over towards third. High hop for Lazitz, who throws it away. Off the netting, Sauke is going to stay put at first base. It took a big deflection, and Dardar did not have very far to go to retrieve it. So an E5, and now another gift-wrapped opportunity for Virginia with the leadoff man aboard. Virginia just needs one run to try and give Woolfolk an opportunity to shut it down. Switch hitter batting left against the right-hander Vaughn. Third baseman Lazitz in on the grass. Anderson squares, drags it back towards the mound. Catcher will call him off, and he dropped it. Could not pick it up cleanly. Slipped out of the right hand of Weston Eberle, and everybody's safe. Anderson looking to lay down a sacrifice bunt. Will reach himself, and now Virginia has first and second with nobody out. Eberle now out from behind home plate to set the defensive alignment, which is then checked by the head coach Brett Beretti, who's out in front of the dugout to set the defense or reset the defense. And how they will approach a bunt play. Henry Godbout is going to go meet Kevin McMullen halfway up the third base line to chat this over. Godbout, who does have one sacrifice bunt already for Virginia this season. Corners Lazitz and Dardar had already shown they were going to play pretty far in for Columbia. The other thing we've seen is that Vaughn is fairly slider heavy, which not necessarily the easiest thing for a right-handed batter facing a slider from a right-handed pitcher. First and second, nobody out. First baseman crashing, right on top of Godbout, and the pitch gets away! A wild one to send Sauke to third and Anderson to second. And Columbia has now handed Virginia the perfect opportunity to crack the scoreboard first. Infield's going to have to come in all the way around, and now, unsurprisingly, a visit from pitching coach Tom Carty. Error, bunt that was intended as a sacrifice that ended up as a bunt base hit, but nevertheless, a semi-misplay at least by the catcher. Had a chance to record it out, we'll put it that way. Followed by a wild pitch that has put runners at second and third with nobody out. And for Godbout, whose initial task was to try and advance the runners via the bunt, now it will be to try and get a ball to the outfield and drive Sauke home from third. Although now, when you think about still nobody out in the inning, the ultimate task for Godbout is to find a way to not only get the runner home, but also advance Anderson from second to third would be ideal. Now, most importantly, obviously, is just to get the man in from third base. Got to move the baseball, get it past the drawn-in infield, get something into the outfield in the air. Sauke at third, Anderson at second. Infield in all the way around for Columbia. The 1-0 to Godbout. Down and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball from James Vaughn, the 6'5" righty with a sort of low 3/4 arm slot. Righty against righty. Hitters count for Godbout. The 2-0 pitch now. Chopped foul into Virginia's dugout. Over the head of athletic trainer Brian McGuire. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Virginia and Columbia still scoreless, last of the 8th. Cavalier closer Jay Woolfolk is already in this game. See if he'll have a chance to pick up a win in the 9th Virginia's got a scratcher run across here. Second and third, nobody out. The 2-1 pitch now to Godbout. And he hit him. A fastball that plunked him, looked like in the rear end. And now that will load up the bases. So when you consider bases loaded, nobody out, Columbia still has to keep the infield in all the way around. With this game tied last of the 8th. Harrison Didowick, 0 for 2, has been hit by a pitch. Right-hander Vaughn deals. Up and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Well, Virginia finally get a run across here in the last of the 8th inning. After having left 10 men on base through the prior 7 innings. Righty sets at the belt. The 1-0 pitch now to Didowick. Down and away, 2 balls, no strikes. And to be honest, neither of these first couple of offerings have been all that close. A baseball somehow had made its way into foul territory down the left field line, and so a momentary pause as it is retrieved and flipped up onto a young fan on Youth Day here on the berm down the left field line. Hitters count for Didowick, 2 balls, no strikes, trying to drive something to the outfield. The pitch from Vaughn, swung on, tapped foul outside of first. Picked up by Matt Kirby beyond that first base coach's box, who flips it up into a fan, makes the catch about 6 or 7 rows deep in the seats. Shadows now splitting the mound in half, where Vaughn peers in to get the sign from Weston Everly. Infield in all the way around for Columbia. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2 balls, 1 strike to count to Harrison Didowick. Swing and a miss. Fastball running down and away from him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand, ready to erupt, waiting to finally see Virginia break through. See if Didowick can make something happen. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Pitch misses outside, and that'll run it full to 3-2. Vaughn with a fastball that tailed way outside. A lot of natural arm side run with his lower arm slot. Nowhere to put him. Full count offering to come, and here it is from Vaughn. Down and in, ball 4, and he has walked in the go-ahead run. At long last, Virginia breaks through with a run here in the 8th. Didowick gets the RBI as Sauke comes in to score. 1-0 Hoos. RBI number 7 for Didowick. That's also the last man that Vaughn is going to face. So he does not record an out in his Columbia debut. And they are going back to the bullpen. Well, an odd inning, and it's an unearned run so far charged to him because of the E5. He's still responsible for Anderson at third, Godbout at second, and now Didowick at first. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher for Columbia when we come back in just a moment. An appearance a long time in the making for Columbia's Dane Miller, senior right-hander, takes over. As Miller worked in 8 games out of the bullpen in 2019 as a freshman, but has not pitched in a game for the Lions since that time. As this is, for Miller, his first appearance for Columbia since April 14th of 2019. Did not pitch in the abbreviated 2020 campaign. The entire 2021 Ivy League season was canceled, and last year he missed due to injury. So finally back to action, and he inherits bases loaded, nobody out. Justin Rubin, the batter. 1-0 Virginia here in the 8th, but a chance, obviously, for much more. Fastball at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Miller, 5'10", 170-pound senior from Eagan, Minnesota, out of Eagan High School, the Wildcats. And again, Rubin bats with the bases loaded and nobody out. The 0-1. Breaking ball missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to the Cavaliers' second baseman. Harrison Didowick's bases loaded walk has finally put Virginia on the board. 1-0 Hoos in the 8th. The 1-1 pitch now from the right-hander. Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Fastball missing low. 14 innings his freshman season for Dane Miller. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Allowed 2 hits, or 12 hits, excuse me, over 14 innings. Now the 2-1 pitch. Rubin lines one. Caught by the diving first baseman. What a play from Seth Dardar on a rocket shot off the bat of Justin Rubin. Snagged by the first baseman. I mean, a full extension leap to rob Rubin of a hit. That would have brought home at least 1. And instead, Virginia stuck for now on the 1-0 lead. Top of the order, and O'Farrell, and still only 1 out in the inning. So something in the air of decent depth to the outfield would get Virginia another run home. Middle infielders will retreat now. They'll look for a ball to turn 2. And the pitch, O'Farrell's going to ask for time as Miller taking a little too long. Corners in, middle back, bases loaded, 1 out, and 1-0 Virginia so far here in the 8th. Breaking ball down and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Jay Woolfolk already came on through 7 pitches to get the final couple of outs, get Virginia out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of this 8th inning. And now Virginia has finally scratched across a run, but O'Farrell looking to add to it. Fastball down, 2 balls, no strikes. 63 degrees, sunny skies. Beautiful day for baseball as Virginia going for a sweep of Columbia. In the driver's seat, O'Farrell hits a 2-0 pitch on the ground between the legs of the third baseman, Lazitz. 1 run is home as Anderson scores. Godbout right behind him, and O'Farrell ends up at second. Hit it sharply on the ground and right through the 5-hole. Anton Lazitz could not come up with it, and Virginia leads 3-0. Over to third base goes Didowick. And the batter now, Ethan O'Donnell. I got to believe that's an E5, and he'll be charged to Lazitz. Second and third, 1 out. Infield back in all the way around for Columbia. As O'Donnell, the batter. Check swing, tapper, foul outside of third. O'Donnell's been on base a couple of times. His most recent 2 plate appearances on a pair of walks. And the pitch. Down and in, gets away from the catcher. Here comes Didowick, racing in from third. The throw gets away. Now right behind him, O'Farrell. He's going to come in and score standing up. Virginia 5, Columbia nothing. What a wild inning it has been to see Virginia put up a 5 spot. Another wild pitch, and this one turns into 2 more runs for the Wahoos. Now, bases empty, 1 out. What a difference a pitch makes. And the 1-1 is down and in. Two balls, 1 strike to count to Ethan O'Donnell. And he takes a fastball over the inside corner, 2-2. And the next one swung on and missed. Fastball maybe off the inside corner, but either way. O'Donnell is down on strikes. That is out number 2. So in the inning, Columbia has committed 3 errors, 2 wild pitches, a hit batter, a misplayed sacrifice bunt attempt as well. And now Geloff, the 8th man to come to the plate. And he takes a fastball strike, 0-1. For a Columbia team that had played a very good and clean, basically sound ball game, it is really unraveled here in the 8th. Breaking ball down and away, 1-1. And you look at the pitching ledger, 5 runs allowed in the inning, 0 earned runs. Pitch downstairs to Geloff. 2 balls and 1 strike. Obviously, Woolfolk now working with quite the cushion. Came into the game tied at 0. And now he will return to the mound with Virginia leading 5-0. 3 balls and a strike is the next one down to Geloff. Dane Miller kicks, deals, and that one's upstairs, ball 4. Geloff on base for the 3rd time today. Single, double, and now a walk. And Kyle Teal will be the batter. Teal looking for his first hit today. He has drawn a pair of walks. Runner at first base, 2 outs. And Teal fouls it back into the screen, 0-1. The excitement is settled down a little bit. Virginia getting on the board on the bases loaded walk by Didowick. O'Farrell's ground ball that went right through the legs of the 3rd baseman brought home 2 more. And then the wild pitch combined with the throwing error from the catcher brought in the most recent 2 runs. And it's 5-0 Virginia. Pitch down and in, a ball and a strike now to Teal. Sometimes it's not always going to be the big bats in Virginia's lineup knocking balls out of the ballpark. Take runs of all varieties. The 1-1 inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, over the course of a season, going to have to win them all kinds of ways. So 2 balls and a strike now to Teal, the 9th man to bat in this inning. And he takes strike 2 called. Fastball over the outside corner. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shadows covering the majority of the mound now, from which Dane Miller, the senior right-hander, works. And the Minnesotan sets and deals a breaking ball down and in. That'll run the count full 3-2, and so Geloff will be off with the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So a little head start, see if Teal can find a gap somewhere and get Virginia another run across. As Miller set from the belt, right-hander deals and grounded sharply but foul between third base and where Coach Mack stands. And we will do it again 3-2 as Geloff will now head back to first base. Left fielder Hage went over to retrieve it. Tosses it back into the Virginia dugout area. Runner at first base, Geloff. There he goes. 3-2, misses upstairs. Ball 4. So consecutive walks to put runners at first and second and get Casey Sauke back to the plate for the second time in the inning. Again, Virginia with 5 runs across in this 8th inning that has had a little bit of everything. Breaking ball upstairs, 1-0. Not exactly the prettiest of half innings, but it is in the fact that it's seen Virginia score 5 times. Cavaliers have had 1 hit in this inning, yet have scored 5 times. Assisted by 3 Columbia errors in the frame. Fastball at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Geloff at second, Teal at first, 2 down, last of the 8th. And Miller deals. Breaking ball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Miller, a 5-foot 10-inch right-hander. Again, making his first appearance for Columbia since April of 2019. The 2-1, down and in, almost hit him. 3 balls and a strike because of a combination of the pandemic and injury. And he draws, set at the belt, looks back at Geloff. Now the 3-1 pitch is in there for strike 2 called. Runners will be off with the pitch once again. There they go. Swung on, popped up, foul back, and out of play. And Geloff will retreat back to second. Teal makes sure to touch second base as he retreats back towards first now. Virginia 5 runs, 5 hits in the game. Columbia no runs, 4 hits, but maybe the biggest number of them all on the scoreboard, the 4 errors that Columbia has committed. 3 of them have come in this half inning. Again, the runners go. Payoff. Line towards left field. Well tagged. Down for a hit in front of the left fielder, Hage. Geloff is going to come around and score the 6th run of the inning and the game for UVA. Casey Sauke with an RBI single to left. He's got RBI number 7 on the year. And again, the Who's in front, 6-0. Now Ethan Anderson swings and skies one to right, pretty well tagged. That chases back shot. He's back up against the wall, and that ball is gone. 3 more home for Virginia. It's a 9-run inning. The Who's have broken it open and then some. Ethan Anderson with his first long ball of the year. Drives home Teal and Sauke in front of him. Virginia 9, Columbia nothing. RBIs numbers 7, 8, and 9 for Ethan Anderson. And now the entire infield and the catcher, Weston Eberle, going to go out and chat with Dane Miller, trying to get him through this inning. And a right-hander is scurried down to the Columbia bullpen to start throwing just in case this one continues any farther. I think Virginia might actually get somebody up in the bullpen now. Pitch misses down to Godbout. I guess for the same reason, if it gets any farther, maybe you don't have to bring Woolfolk back for the ninth. The 2-0 pitch, a little bit low. 3 balls, no strikes. Well, it's Madrigal again throwing. We saw him throw about 4 or 5 times in the bullpen on Friday without ever actually entering the game. 3-0 pitch, a called strike. 3-1 the count now on Henry Godbout. Next pitch on the way, swung on, fouled away to the right side, and the count is full at 3-2. A 9-0 Virginia lead. All 9 runs home in this half inning. And now the payoff. Way outside, ball 4. So Harrison Didowick will be the 13th man to bat in this 8th inning for Virginia. And now looks like that'll be the final man that Dane Miller faces. And Brandon Madrigal's number has been called. So Columbia will turn to their 3rd pitcher of the inning. Virginia, again, about to send its 14th man to the plate of the half inning and lead it 9-0. 13th man, excuse me. Either way, 9 runs home. The Who's very much in control now. And a pitching change for the Lions. Tell you more about the new arm when we come back. Nine runs home for Virginia in this bottom half of the 8th inning. What a difference a half inning makes. And it's still not over yet. Runner at first base with 2 outs, and the new pitcher is Brandon Madrigal, junior right-hander, 6'2" 180-pound righty from Moore Park, California. And Madrigal takes over to face Harrison Didowick with Godbout aboard at first. And 9 runs home in the inning. Pitch to Didowick, swung on, hit off the end of the bat towards right, and on one pitch, that'll do it. So Madrigal gets his man on the only pitch he throws, as Didowick is retired, but not before. 13 men come to the plate for Virginia in the inning, thanks in large part to 3 Columbia errors in the inning, a couple of wild pitches as well. Virginia puts up a 9 spot. And as we go to the 9th, Virginia 3 outs away from locking down the win today and the series sweep. And to try and take it to the finish line, Jay Woolfolk headed back to the mound when we return. Now, when Jay Woolfolk took over in this game, he had to retire a couple of batters in order to preserve a scoreless tie and get Virginia through the top half of the 8th inning, which he did so successfully. Now he returns for the 9th, and all of a sudden, it is a 9-0 Virginia lead. 9 runs home in the last of the 8th. And Woolfolk now dealing a fastball foul tip by Seth Dardar. And the count 0-1. He does have to face the heart of the order, Dardar, Eberle, and Schott. And the next pitch, swung on, popped up lazily left side of the infield. O'Farrell shading his eyes from the sun. And he reaches back to make a one-handed grab, and Dardar is retired. And there's one away. Woolfolk struck out Cole Hage and then got Blake to fly out to center field, and that was enough to get Virginia out of the 8th inning and leave the bases loaded with Columbia base runners. And now he's trying to get the final couple of outs to lock down the win and the series sweep for Virginia. Pitch to Eberle, swung on, fouled away to the right side. Third appearance of 2022 for Jay Woolfolk. And he would be in line to get the win for Virginia. Now the 0-1 pitch to Eberle. Foul tipped and caught by Teal. 0-2. 3 errors, 2 wild pitches. Just a disastrous half inning from the Columbia defense in the bottom of the 8th that led to 9 unearned runs. 0-2, just missed off the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good slider from Woolfolk. Even though it didn't catch the zone, it was very close, and certainly close enough, you would think, to entice Eberle, but he does not offer. 1 out, base is empty, and the 1-2 pitch this time catches the knees. Strike 3 call. So Woolfolk now has Virginia 1 out away as Eberle is frozen, and Hayden Schott will be the batter. Woolfolk looking for his first win of the year, and it would be the first ball game won by a non-starting pitcher for Virginia in a game this season. Changeup swung on and missed by Schott, and it's 0-1. The 0-1, swing and a miss, doubled up on it, and again had Schott out in front. First time he's shown that pitch this weekend, maybe this season. Couple of beauties, and it's quickly 0-2, and Woolfolk now has Virginia 1 strike away. 2 outs, base is empty. The 0-2 bounced it in, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not to forget the yeoman's work that Woolfolk did to get Virginia out of the 8th inning. Now trying to cruise through this 9th. The 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Schott. Swung on and skied out towards left field. Pretty well tagged. Didewick going back, and he looks up, and that ball is gone. Hayden Schott with an opposite field home run. And Columbia will not go quietly into the night. Hayden Schott with his first of 2023. And there will be no shutout for Virginia this afternoon. After hitting 12 of them last year, Hayden Schott, Columbia's team leader a year ago, has his first of 2023. Now Woolfolk to face Anton Lazitz. Fastball a little bit high, 1-0. Opposite field power on display from Schott that time. It was going to finish with 5 hits, a couple of extra base hits in the series for Columbia. 1-0 pitch, slider swung on and missed. And the count even up at 1-1. Now Woolfolk back into the windup. His 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. And once again, he has Virginia 1 strike away. 2 outs, bases empty. Virginia 9, Columbia 1 in the top of the 9th. And the 1-2 pitch swung on, lifted out towards right center field, well tagged. O'Donnell going back, and at the base of the warning track, he will make the catch, and that'll do it. Virginia takes the finale from Columbia by a 9-1 final score. They have swept the Lions, and for the 7th time under Brian O'Connor, Virginia is off to a 7-0 start to the season. Again, the Wahoos 9, the Lions 1. Virginia getting all 9 runs in the last of the 8th inning. The win will go to Jay Woolfolk. He improves to 1-0. The loss will be charged to Columbia's James Vaughn, and he will drop to 0-1. Cavaliers, 9 runs, 7 hits, no errors, left 11 runners on base, 6 of them left in scoring position. Columbia, it was 1 run on 5 hits today. Columbia committing 4 errors in the ballgame. They will leave 5 runners on base. 2 of those were left in scoring position. So again, for Columbia, 1-5-4. For Virginia, 9-7-0. Again, winning pitcher Jay Woolfolk and the losing pitcher James Vaughn. Cavaliers are off to a 7-0 start to the season and improved to 9-1 all-time against Columbia. The Lions will drop to 0-3 on the season, and they will next be in action next weekend for 4 games in 3 days at UNC Wilmington. Virginia will also have 4 games in 3 days next weekend against Rhode Island. Friday at 3, a Saturday doubleheader beginning at noon, and a Sunday finale at 1. In the interim, a midweek game against VMI on Tuesday. That will be a 3 o'clock start. Can't join us at the ballpark for that one on Tuesday afternoon. Hope you will tune into the broadcast, but that'll do it for our broadcast today. A ball game that took 2 hours, 53 minutes to be played was done so in front of 4,140 fans. Great attendance on this family Sunday. And Virginia, again, 9-1 winners over Columbia. For everybody who helped make the broadcast possible today and all weekend long, I'm Channing Poole saying I hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and I know you enjoyed the result. One final time, our final score from Charlottesville, Virginia. It was Virginia 9, Columbia 1. Until Tuesday, a 3 o'clock start time against the VMI Keydets. Thanks for listening, everybody.